Lauren DeLong with York Nordic, and I wanted to introduce you to our newest pole. You're probably familiar with the York Nordic Motivator pole, which has the motivator grip with a palm cradle to neutralize your wrist, along with 2 thumb channels to provide less strain on your thumb joint. So the motivator is an excellent pole for most people, but we realize that many of our clients have a larger hand, or they might be a lot taller. Perhaps they are on a weight loss journey. So we came out with the Motivator Super Duty, which is a bigger, taller version of the motivator pole. It also comes with the lanyard strap that you can add and use if you choose to. The original motivator pole has the flip lock system, and I'm going to demonstrate to you the Motivator Super Duty for bigger and taller people that uses the thumb, a push button system. So this is the Motivator Super Duty. It has a much larger hand grip, again with the palm cradle and 2 thumb channels. My hand looks tiny in here, but it's an excellent way to provide that pinching grip as well as the grasping grip. It is a push button design with a much thicker, sturdier upper and lower pole. And the push button design, I'll demonstrate how that works. Height wise, of course, it could work for somebody that needs the poles at about this height. And then from there, we can extend the pole with this initial push button here at the top. There is a push button here that's going to pop out in this first hole for the smaller range of height. So I'll push in this button to get us started, and then we're going to see a button pop out there, and that's when the initial lower heights will begin to work. And I know that I'm about the 4th button up. My height is about 5'6". I used to be 5'7", but we all shrink as we age. So that's the height of the pole that I would use. If you were taller, you think, oh my gosh, I only have 3 more positions, but another button that's in here is going to pop out here. So this is an excellent design where at my height at 5'6", I push this in. That's the last hole. As I continue 1 inch further, another button pops out, and now I can continue for another foot or so of height. So if I were very tall, for example, the maximum height is the pole height that would work for somebody 7 feet tall. So this is an excellent option if you have larger hands or you're a person that's on the bigger, taller side. It's a thicker pole with thumb button height adjustment, which is extremely sturdy. Works for those up to 500 pounds and up to 7 feet tall. Tip wise, I'd like to point out that we have a tip that is very grippy on the bottom, which is excellent. This is the tip that comes with the pole as a default. You can see the little knobbies on the bottom and a couple circles that create some nice traction for using the pole. This pole, because it's this much wider, doesn't have the trekking grip bottom, or the trekking tip I should say, the tungsten steel tip. It's a tip much like a cane. So for that reason, we also have another tip option, which is called the Flexi Foot. And this is an awesome tip in that it provides spring action and also excellent traction even when you're planting the pole at an angle. And I'll demonstrate that. So the Flexi Foot, very simply, just goes on the bottom like that. We can pause. So when we put both Flexi Foots on the bottom of the Super Duty big and tall pole, I'll demonstrate with the poles at my height, and again the grips are much larger than what I would need as somebody 5'6" with a smaller hand, but you can see the pole on the bottom here, and I'll demonstrate how the shock absorption works. So if you look at the tip at the bottom here, there are shock absorbers. So if you press on that pole, it gives you shock absorption. And then also, if you're planting the pole out in an angle in front, even if you strike the ground at an angle like that, the pole will flex, the flexi tip will flex, and you can see that you have excellent traction even when you're at an angle. So it's an excellent tip when you're planting the pole straight down, but it's also very effective if you're planting at an angle in front of you and you want that shock absorption. It's a very comfortable tip.